Hey everyone, welcome to Who's the Killer. Despite the clean scene and lack of cameras, Zhang Xingjing cleverly got the convenience store footage from the bag. Look at you sweating bullets, just confess you killed him, right? Do I know you? Faced with the questioning, he was about to crack under pressure, but everything turned futile in front of the new evidence brought by Zhang Xingjing's colleague. It turns out the police found a magical moment in the scene evidence showing him borrowing a hammer from the store manager, interrupted by a fly blocking the shot to talk about a device. The evidence seemed to vanish into thin air, as if scripted by the heavens. Later, the police questioned old Jin's wife in prison. They discovered that old Jin frequently visited her home and was quite concerned about her kids. What a tangled web. Plus, the times he was hanging out with old Li's husbands, it just got more complicated for him. Old Jin was very caring about old Li's kids. It seems all friendly on the surface, but oh boy, the drama underneath. The wife planned to divorce her husband once the kids were financially independent and then be with old Jin just like a reality show script. This testimony only confirmed the murder motives between old Jin and old Li, and then the news broke, washing away all his anxiety. It turned out the police found that the victim, old Jin, was a former notorious serial killer. Mind blown. The bravery of the students touched me. But just when he thought the storm had passed, that missing hammer from Sub got brought home by a blind girl. What a plot twist. The next day, that blind girl walked into the convenience store, and the moment she saw him, she demanded a $2 million hash fee. Unbelievable. He was completely taken aback, insisting he didn't know her. Little did he know she was just a wannabe blind lady. Girl gave him a few days to gather the money, or she'd hand the evidence over to the cops. Now he had to hustle for cash. He even sold his newly bought Apple, and eventually he managed to get enough money by borrowing advances from the convenience store boss. He thought the girl would keep the secret after getting the money, but to his shock, she insisted he pay her $2 million every month. Now with his finances in tatters, he angrily snatched the hammer from her, declaring this was a one-time payment. End of discussion. But the girl wasn't backing down. She had dug into his past, and no matter what he did, she'd come knocking on his door. Imagining a future of being pulled around like a duck, he decided to throw the hammer, taking matters into his own hands. After dropping her, he hurriedly scooped up the cash and hammer and fled, only to accidentally leave behind his fingerprints. Days later, the milkman found the milk piled up at the door and decided to investigate, only to be scared out of his wits. When the police came to check, they found no fingerprints. It turned out the dog had cleaned the whole mess. The dog momentarily believed it was a grand feast and actually licked up every drop of blood in the entire room. What an absolutely hilarious twist this was. When the police examined the bones, they discovered it was the blind woman's mother. What a shocking secret. They only detected the dog's saliva, leading the police to realize they had to change their investigative direction and start with the dog's poop. Meanwhile, he couldn't fathom why the police hadn't caught him yet, and in a guilty haze, he almost went on the ultimate escape. But Nay and her friends were at the door, interrupting his moment. She'd been yelling outside the whole time. After clearing his debt with friends, he drowned his sorrows in booze, only to have an old cop and a blind girl's dog pass by. The little dog sensed something and started barking up at the building. Meanwhile, two thugs tried their luck at messing with the old cop. The little dog unwittingly followed the thugs and got away, while Zhang suddenly uncovered the blind girl's true identity. Another dramatic twist. He realized the tragic fates of those he killed were all fugitives deserving their grave ends. Now on a winning streak, he thought maybe he should buy a lottery ticket. That is until he encountered those two thugs on his way home. Those two, desperate after dropping their wallets, thought they could bully him. How ironic. Seeing the bloodstains on them, he was instantly reminded of the previous murders. Talk about horror multiplied. In a flash, the scene shifted to the bodies being discarded in a desolate area. Another act of the show. Waking up covered in blood, he spotted the murder weapon lying on the floor. Things were getting weirder by the second. A note nearby caught his eye, leaving contact info offering help. The shadow was growing deeper. He recalled last night that someone had assisted him in escaping. Such an intricate web of twists and turns. Soon, he turned into a law enforcer, punishing those who escape justice. What an absurd show. Before long, he zeroed in on a notorious official, pretending to be a ride and leading him to a deserted riverside. Such a clever maneuver. When the official woke up, he frantically claimed to be a good person, but Zhang's assistant, Little Fat, presented all the evidence right away. The official had used his power to harm multiple girls. Without hesitation, he dealt with him. Soon, police received the report of the official's death. Investigations started and Zhang Xingjing sensed the connections. He sought help from top hacker Little Fat to analyze the recent cases. What a tense situation. Little Fat had a history of hacking into the precinct for secrets. Would he really be able to help? Zhang Xingjing, puzzled by the developments, pressed Little Fat to return to the station for questioning. Yet Little Fat remained tight-lipped, forcing the police to let him go, while Zhang Xingjing had his men monitor the area. Soon, disguised as a delivery person, Zhang visited him, exchanging updates. This plot thickens. The cop wasn't Zhang Xingjing. He asked a few questions and let Zhang go, allowing him a smooth escape. And the show isn't over yet. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to subscribe. More thrilling content awaits you.